Shalom. Call Halam La Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Bahashem Haracha'a Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth and sincerity. They steered us well and they rule well. Salutations to the hopeful elect. May the blessing of election be upon your house. This is the brother Zion coming at you with another lesson. To feed the lambs to the Holy Spirit. Haracha'a Kodash. Lord willing, this lesson is edifying and to the point. Salakia. And in this lesson, we are going to get into sedition is coming to America. All right. Sedition is coming to America. All right. You got a lot of militia groups throughout the four corners of the U.S. All right. Every single state. Okay. They are prepared. All right. They are literally prepared. Prepared for what? Prepared to go to war. Prepared to go to war with who? Jake. All right. Jake. That is who they are trying to go to war with. You're going to have uproars of the people like you see uproars of the people now. You know? Okay? Because that's what sedition means. Uproars. But it's going to get into the point where it's going to be the people against the government. The people against the so-called powers that be. All right? See, you know, these elites are scared. They're in the bunkers now. They're going to get snatched out those bunkers. Eventually. Real soon. But they're in the bunkers. They scared. This is all a part of their plan. Because a lot of people are going to be depopulated. They're going to be deleted in this certain time. Now, in this video we got here, this is Syria plunges into civil war as the new government opens fire on civilians' homes. You see this? All right. It's gonna look, all it's doing, all this, plague and all this, sedition is going to work its way west. That's all it's doing. It's working its way west. All right. And when Yahweh Shema Washai, okay, and when Yahweh Shema Washai want this sedition to happen, all right, it's going to be when they want it to happen. But I want you to check out this video and we're going to get into some scriptures right quick. All right, let's check it out. I know you see that. Okay. They not playing. It's going down. They letting them bitches go. All right. They letting them fly. It's going to be like that right over here. It's more guns than people in America. All right. In a lot of these states, you don't need a license. Why is that? Think about it. See, in a lot of these states, you don't even need a damn license. You can carry it and the police don't give a fuck. Some even say open carry. You can even conceal it without a license now in like, certain states. But you got to be careful because it's a thin line carrying that pistol. It's a thin line carrying a rifle. It's a thin line between that. Very thin. And I'm only saying it's thin because we Jake. Esau have a whole loaded sawed-off shotgun and throw it in the back seat, get pulled over with a damn open can of beer in the front, and the police don't give a shit because both of their daddies go to the same church. But let Jake do that. They gonna open fire on Jake. Jake got to follow all of the precautions by carrying a weapon. All right, because a lot of Jakes, They be getting gun charges because of the transport of the weapon. You know, you actually transport the weapon wrong. That's why Jake be getting gun cases and shit. And they got to do a mandatory 5 or some stupid shit. And they got to go spend thousands on the lawyer just to do 2.5. And don't have that thing come back dirty. You really gon', you know? So it's a thin line by carrying a pistol. But in this day, those gun laws and all the things I just mentioned, it ain't even gonna matter. It's gonna be like the Wild Wild West. Man, it's gonna be a war zone out here, man. So you better get right and get your house in order with Yahweh Shema Shai before it's too late. You know, 2/3 of our people not considering. They just walking around like it's all fine and dandy. You know, like everything is everything. You know, but ultimately they lost. Ultimately they're dull of hearing. Ultimately they have a malicious soul. So they not gonna have wisdom dwell in them. They not gonna understand this truth. Why? Because Yahweh Shema Shai don't want them to understand it. You know? Their reasoning fell off by the wayside and, you know, they don't have good ground, you know? But let's get into a scripture right quick. I got queued up 2nd Ezra 15 and 16, okay? For there shall be sedition among men. And, you know, sedition means uproars of the people, you know? You may see a lot of protesting and you see a lot of that. Those are uproars of the people. They're irritated. They're mad. They are pissed off. They don't have a voice. So they yell and they start riots and they fuck up shit. And you know, police, all right, when they actually swear in, they swear in to the republic. The republic is that nice little eagle on the right hand side of your dollar bill. You know, that's under Queen Elizabeth and all of that. And on the left is the Moroccan government. All right. Which is the so-called, you know what I'm saying, Illuminati. You know, your presidents and everything, they be swearing in to that pyramid over there to the left. You know. So there's going to be uproars because of that. For there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. You see, it's going to be dog eat dog in that day, man. Okay. It ain't going to just be the people going against the so-called government and then the people is one. Yay. Like, no, it ain't going to be none of that, man. You're going to be having, because why? Because you have different type of sects and different type of belief groups within these political parties of these so-called sheeple, man. All right. You got the leftists over here. You got the rightists over here. You got the Republican followers over here. You know, they going to be bickering and they going to be killing each other, man. Okay. That's going to lead to looting, rioting, people just breaking into stores, just doing impulsive wickedness for no fucking reason. That's what you're going to be seeing. You know, it ain't going to be just cars flipped over and people standing over it saying, you know, anarchy. Like, it ain't going to be just that. Somebody might shoot him in the head. You see what I'm saying? It's going to be like dog eat dog purge, you know, because in the purge, you just didn't have the people out killing and they were just finding the weak people. Like, no, they was killing each other, too. Predators going against predators. They just wasn't getting prey. Predators was hunting other predators. You know, it's going to be dog eat dog in that day, man. You got to have Yahweh Shema Shai. You got to be in that secret place, man. You got to be under the shadow of the Almighty. Otherwise, hey, it ain't going to go well with you, man. And I'm speaking to myself first, you know. Because I can't save you. You can't save me. None of that. It's all about the relationship that you done built with Yahweh Shema Shai during this grace period. You know, that is what it's about. Whether you got the sure mercies of David or not, it's going to boil down to that at the end of the day. Now, for there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. So they're not going to care about them gun laws. You know, that in your county, in the county of Harrison County, you can't care. They ain't gonna care about nothing about Harrison County, Madison County, whatever county that you so. They don't give a damn about that, because the kings is going. You know, that is the government officials. The princes is the local officials. You know, so they don't give a damn about them laws. And it's more Esau laws than the laws of Yahweh Shema Shai, man. Esau have way more laws than Yahweh Shema Shai. Straight up. You know? And Jake, you know what I'm saying, man, they'll follow Esau laws to the T and try to remember the motherfuckers and everything. This motherfucker been locked up 20 years up there in Pendleton. Then after that, he went to Wayside, did 5 up there. This motherfucker know all the Esau laws, but don't know one law of Yahweh Shema Shai. Yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like I help young blood get out, you know, off a little technicality on hit. Like, but he don't know not one law of Yahweh Shema Shai. Niggas like that is gonna get knocked out. Like, deleted, out of the way. And you should want them niggas to go, because it's making your chances easier to get on the chariot. You know, well, I ain't gonna say easier, I say greater to get on the chariot. Because eventually, Yahweh Shema Shai gonna have to come get us. He gonna have to step in, all right, and show out in order for us to get rest. Now, it's they shall not regard their kings nor princes. So they ain't gonna give a damn about them government officials, and they ain't gonna give a damn about them local officials. They ain't gonna give a damn about the Constitution. They ain't gonna give a damn about them bylaws about not jaywalking and running a red light and illegally carrying a gun. They ain't gonna give a damn about that. In the course of their actions shall stand in their power. First one draw, lay the law. I know y'all heard that saying before. First one draw, lay the law. The power in my hands. Why? Because it's a gun. You know? Even though a gun will jam on you, don't you start putting your faith in a damn gun. Because a gun will get you fucked off. Thinking it's going to save you, and the Lord will have it jam up in a very stressful situation, you know, and then all of a sudden you patting your damn torso and you at the foot of Yahweh Shema Shai. So don't think a gun is gonna save you. The only thing that thing gonna do is get your ass killed, because owning a gun is step 1 of getting your ass killed. So just knowing that, know that. Owning a gun is step 1 of you getting killed. You know why? Because it was told to me when I got my pistol, when I had my first license, when I had my gun license. It ain't going off owning a gun. It ain't or a sword. It ain't going off. It's only going off when you think that's your salvation and that's going to get you out of everything, and all I'm going to do is Elmer Fudd my way to the chariots. No, that ain't going to happen. You out of your mind. Think again. You might as well go get a shovel, all right, and dig a 6x9 and go lay in it, because that's where you going. You're going to be pushing up flowers. You understand? and in the course of their actions shall stand in their power. You see that? First one, draw, lay the law. The law is what I think that is right at the moment of action. That's going to be the mindset of these people, man. But it's going to be very savage-like, though. You know? A lot of people in that day are going to greet each other with guns pointed at each other. That's how you're going to meet people in that day. You know? So all of this sedition, all of this uproars, the people just on the complete ziggity boom out here. The military is going to have to step in and take the authority of the local officials. And they going to start treating everyone as hostile, and they going to start firing on people. Because they already got laws already set up through Obama, through the HR 2467, the healthcare reform. He already done did that. That the U.S. soldiers can, in fact, fire on U.S. citizens if they are considered hostile in a national state of emergency. But verse 17, it say, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. You hear that? They're going to have to lock it down at that point, because it's going to get to the point of you shooting up civilian houses and you just completely just savage. I don't give a F. Okay, I'm going to lock all this shit down. And that's what they going to do. And if you get caught on them streets, they going to light your ass up. They not going to play with you. They not finna say, hey, you're past curfew, go home. The hell no. They going to light that windshield up. And you might turn into jello on the inside. You know? Because they use 50s. I don't know if you know what a 50 is. Google it. That's a nasty round. And a lot of niggas in that day is going to be pink mist. They going to get caught running. They going to get hit somewhere on the top part, and then they legs, they bottom half gonna take an extra couple steps and fall on his knees, and that nigga was pink mist 5 feet ago. That's how it's gonna be with niggas. So you don't want to get caught out and get caught by the military in that day, because they gonna light your ass up, and they not gonna play with you. You know, your own soldiers, your own Marine. Because a lot of these motherfuckers just look at people like objects. That's how they don't, when they go to war, when a soldier go to war, they do not look at the enemy like, damn, man, that was a human. Some of them will. Some of them will. I ain't going to say all, but some of them will look like them like they humans. But a lot of them follow orders, jarhead, and they have to look at them like an object. Just another task. They have to look at them like that. That's why they come back over here and they damn snap out of it, and they drink themselves to death, smoke themselves to death, halfway crazy somewhere under a fucking freeway. And they don't even have the proper programs to help them out. And this dude was a so-called tailored soldier, you know? A so-called, what they say, decorated soldier or whatever. You know? But we soldiers for Yahweh Shema Shah, man. That's what we are. Soldiers of Yahweh Shema Shah. And what we do, we got to put on the whole armor. That's how we stay prepared. We already know the scriptures of putting on the whole armor. But you got to know how to put on that armor and how to be protected. You can't have no leaks in your guard. You know, this is the time to keep our shit wired tight, because we almost up out of here, you know? So Lord willing, this lesson is edifying. I want to give infinite honors, praises, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth and sincerity. They steered us well and they rule well. Salutations to the hopeful elect. May the blessing of election be upon your house. We on the next one. Abaratazai. Shalom.